Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome you all in PIST Virtual Learning System session 2020. Dear students, this lecture is for grade first year boys and girls. This is lecture number 13 and subject computer science, and we are on chapter number 3 central processing unit. So dear students, today I'm going to start the chapter number 3 with registers. The types of register, we will discuss registers and then types of registers, buses and types of buses. So in previous lecture, we discussed about the components of central processing unit CPU and inside the CPU. So these two are also the components of CPU, central processing unit. In previous lecture, we have already discussed about the cache memory, control unit, ALU. So we have discussed all these topics, and today we will continue this topic with registers and the types of the register, buses and the types of the buses. So let's start with processor registers. Registers are high-speed storage locations inside the microprocessor. It is designed to be accessed at much higher speed than conventional memory. Registers are classified according to the functions they perform. So basically, registers are used quickly, accept, store and transfer data and instructions that are being used immediately by the CPU. Registers used in computer are divided into different types. And the registers, remember that students, registers are basically inside the CPU. This is a small and high speed memory inside your CPU, which is used to hold your data and instruction inside the CPU. They have different purposes and they have different types of registers. So built-in memory location in the processor. So it is built-in memory locations in the processor. Fastest memory locations, since they are present inside the CPU and it can hold an instruction, a memory location or a data. Also used by the CPU to process, store and transfer data from one component of the computer architecture to another. So here we can check, this is a block diagram of your CPU. So here in the previous lecture, we discussed about it, control unit, arithmetical unit, system clock, and here is a register. This is your CPU main memory. Here your input will pass to the CPU, then control unit is responsible to control all the activities inside the system unit. So it can take the data from main memory for the execution and pass to the arithmetical and logical unit, ALU. So registers are the temporary and high speed storage inside the CPU, which is used for different purposes and specific purposes. We have different types of registers inside the CPU which can perform multiple tasks. So a register is a storage location located inside the processor. A modern processor has many registers. Registers are used to hold your data, hold your instruction which are being executed, hold your addresses which are about to be accessed. So we can use register for different purposes. The major are data, instruction and addresses. So we have different types of registers which are used to perform different tasks. So one register, maybe data register, is used to store your data, and instruction registers are used to store information related to your instruction. Then addresses and registers are used to store your addresses. Types of register. So here we have different types of registers. We can classify register into accumulator register, program counter register, memory address registers, instruction registers, and data registers. So basically, these registers can be used in computer for different purposes, and registers used in computers are divided into two major types: general purpose registers and special purpose registers. So some registers are GPR, general purpose registers, and some are memory registers. So registers are used to quickly accept, store, and transfer data and instructions that are being used immediately by the CPU. There are various types of registers. Those are used for various purposes. Among of the some mostly used registers named as AC, cumulator register, data register or DR, the AR or address register, program counter, PC, memory data register, MDR, index register, IR, memory buffer register, MBR. So these are the different types of registers which we have for different purposes. MAR stands for memory address register. These registers are used to hold your memory or data, memory addresses of data and instruction. This register is used to access data and instruction from memory during the execution phase of an instruction. Suppose CPU wants to store some data in the memory or to read the data from the memory, it places the addresses of the required memory location. So this is MAR, memory buffer register. So MAR is basically a type of a special purpose registers. Special purpose, we have two main categories of the register: general purpose registers and special purpose registers. So special purpose registers are those registers which are hold the state of program. They include program counter, instruction register, memory address register, and memory buffer registers. These are used by the control to control the operation of CPU and by the operating system programs to control the execution of the program. So MAR, memory address register, is a type of your special purpose register which is used to hold the address of the instruction. This register is used to access data and instruction from the memory during the execution of the phase. So then we have a program counter, the PC. The program counter register, commonly called the instruction pointer IP register in Intel 86 microprocessor, and sometimes called the instruction address register. It is sometimes called memory address register, instruction address register, or just part of the instruction sequencer in some computer is a processor register. It is a 16-bit special function register in 8085 microprocessor. It keeps track of the next memory address of the instruction that is to be executed once the execution of the current instruction is completed. In other words, it holds the address of the memory location of the next instruction when the current instruction is executed by the microprocessor. So PC is a program counter inside the microprocessor. It controls the sequence in which instructions are fetched from the memory at any given instant. The contents of PC indicates the address in memory from which the next instruction is to be fetched. Contents of PC are loaded into MAR to fetch an instruction from memory. After fetching an instruction from memory, the PC is incremented by 1 to point to the next instruction to be fetched. So PC is a program counter register which is used to hold the instruction are fetched from the memory. Which instruction are fetched from the memory? At any given instant, the component of PC indicate the address in the memory from which the next instruction can be executed. Then next we have a cumulator register. Cumulator register is used for storing the result. Those are produced by the system, and when the CPU will generate some results after the processing, then all the results will be stored in the AC register. Accumulator register, which is used to hold the results of your execution and the result of your all data which is stored. These registers basically, sometime accumulator register is also called the data register. Accumulator AC and data registers. So accumulator registers hold the operands. Operand means the value that the ALU operates on during the execution of an instruction. Operands are values on which operations such as addition or multiplication is to be performed. Operands are loaded into these registers from memory, and after performing the operation, the results of ALU are transferred to the cumulative register AC. The cumulative register and data register can receive data from memory over the data bus, but only the cumulator can send data information back to the memory. So this is very important register, cumulator register, which is used to hold your data after the processing. After the processing, the results sent to the AC register, and AC cumulator register is used to hold your data and information. Memory data register, MDR. MD is the register of a computer's control unit that contains the data to be stored in the computer storage like RAM, or the data after a fetched from the computer storage. It acts like a buffer and holds anything that is copied from the memory ready for the processor to use it. MDR holds the information before it goes to the decoder. Decoder means the converter, which is used to convert the instruction. MDR, which contains the data to be written into or read out of the addressed location. For example, to retrieve the content of cell 123, we would load the value 123 in binary, of course, into the MAR and perform a fetch operation. When the operation is done, a copy of the content of cell 123 would be in the MDR to store the value 98. So means that suppose you have a memory location, the cell location is 123, and you want to fetch the data from the main memory and the cell 123, and the data is the 98. The value is 98. So your value will be loaded into the MDR after fetching. After fetching, your data will be loaded into the memory data register. So it is sometimes called memory buffer register, MBR, MDR, okay, to store the value of 98 into the cell 4. We load a 4 into the MAR and a 98 into the MDR and perform a store. When the operation is completed, the content of cell 4 will have been set to 98 by discarding whatever was there previously. The MDR is a two-way register. When data is fetched from the memory and placed in the MDR, it is written to one direction. When there is a write instruction, the data to be written in place into the MDR from another CPU register, which then puts the data into memory. So it's a bidirectional and two-way register which is used to hold your data. The memory data register is a half of a minimum interface between a microprogram and a computer storage. The other half is a memory address register. So, dear students, then we have a index register. Index register IR, a hardware element which holds a number that can be added to, or in some cases subtracted from, the address portion of a computer instructions to form an effective address, also known as base register. An index register in a computer CPU is a processor register used for modifying operand addresses during the run of a program. So index register IR, instruction registers, sometimes it is called IR, and instruction registers hold program instruction that are fetched from the memory. Then we have a memory buffer register. MBR stands for the memory buffer register. This register holds the content of data. Here we have an operand A, the operand B. Here we have registered the temporary storage inside the CPU. This is our memory programs and data. In the memory programs and data, we have a data register, address register, MDR, MAR. Here we have input devices and output devices. After processing, when input will enter for the execution, after processing it will send to the output devices or maybe your storage devices. So this is a block diagram of your register and how registers can work and translate your instruction and convert your instruction for the execution. So dear students, remember that we have two categories of register: general purpose register and special purpose register. In general purpose register, we have AC and data register, cumulator register and data register. Then we have a base register and counter register. These are the types of your general purpose register. Accumulator registers are used and data registers are used to hold your values and data after the processing. When your execution will be done, so your data will store in data register before and after the execution. Then we have a base register. It is used to hold a number that can be added or in some cases subtracted from the address portion of a computer instruction to form an effective address. It is also known as index register. Okay, it is also called a index register, base register. Then we have a counter register, CR. It contains the address location of the instruction being executed at the current time. As each instruction gets fetched, the counter register increases its stored value by 1. After each instruction is fetched, it points to the next instruction in the sequence. When the computer restarts or resets, it normally reverts to the 0. Then the other type is a special purpose registers, which are used to hold the state of program. They include program counter, instruction registers, memory address registers, memory buffer register. So instruction register IR holds the program instruction that are fetched from the memory for execution. It holds instruction while the instruction decoder circuit decodes it. After decoding, it will pass for the execution. So the timing and control logic generates the proper sequence of control signal to complete the execution of the instruction. Then we have MAR, memory address register, hold the address of the memory location. Memory buffer register, the word that is used to store to be fetched from the memory must be transferred into MBR. Okay, the data must be transferred to MBR after fetching the instruction or after fetching the data. Then we have a program counter, PC. It controls a sequence in which instructions are fetched from the memory at any given instant. The content of PC indicate the address in memory from which the next instruction to be fetched. So here we have in the general purpose, we have three main types: AC register, base register, and counter register. And on the other hand, we have special purpose register, and here we have instruction register, memory address register, memory buffer register, and program counter. So all these are the types of your registers. There is a comparison between the register and the main memory. A register is a small amount of fast storage which is quickly accessible location available to a computer CPU. Main memory, a form of computer data storage that stores data and machine code currently being used. The registers are faster. Main memory is comparatively slower. So registers are located inside the CPU and main memory located outside the CPU. Stores data temporarily, send them to the required location as directed by the CPU. And the main memory stores the data and programs currently executed by the CPU. Several types as programs counter, instruction registers, data register, accumulator registers. And here in the main memory divided into main types called SRAM and DRAM. So registers are the small amount and the high speed memory which is used to hold your data inside the CPU. So these are located inside the CPU and store your data temporarily and send them to the required location as directed by the CPU. Dear students, next topic is computer buses. Buses are collection of wires through which information is transmitted from one part of to another part of the computer system. So basically, computer bus is an electrical path. It's an electrical pathway inside the computer system over which data information transferred from one part to the other. So inside the system unit, here on the motherboard, we have a set of wires. This set of parallel wires are called computer wires and which are used to transfer your data from one component to another component inside the CPU. Okay. Why is a computer bus called a bus? So you can think of a computer bus like a public transportation or a school bus. No, these types of buses are capable of transporting people from one destination to another destination. Like these buses, a computer bus transmits data from one location or device to another location or a device. So if you are thinking that it's like a local bus, like we are using for the transportation in our real life. So computer bus is just same like that bus, because inside the computer system, it is a bus which is used to provide the transportation to the data and the instruction and addresses. So these buses are used to provide the transportation and from one component to any other component, send data and instruction to one component to any other component. So like these buses, a computer bus can transmit data from one location or device to another location or a device. So basic purpose of a bus is transportation of your data, instruction and addresses inside the computer system. And these are the set of wires. A computer bus maintain a strict schedule picking up data and dropping it off at a regular interval. For example, if a bus operates at a frequency of 200 megahertz, it completes 200 million data transfers per second. So it can transfer large amount of and fastest data. So a bus is a common electrical pathway between multiple devices, can be internal to the CPU to transport data to and from the ALU, can be external to the CPU to connect it to the main memory or to IO devices. Early PC had a single external bus or a system bus, but in the modern PCs, now we have a special purpose buses between the CPU and the memory, and at least one another bus for the IO device. Types of buses. So when we talk about the bus, so bus basically is used for the transportation inside the computer system and inside your system, different components. It can transfer your data from one component to another component. We have different types of buses. Data bus. Then we have address bus, control bus. These three buses are used to control the transportation inside the CPU and transfer your data, instruction, and addresses. Here you can check the block diagram of your computer system. Here we have a CPU, memory, input and output. So this is your control bus, address bus, and data bus. Each and every component is connected with the help of all these three buses. Here you can check the CPU is connected with the data bus, CPU is connected with the address bus, CPU is connected with the control bus. The memory is connected with control bus, memory is connected with address bus, memory is connected with data bus. Input and output devices are connected with control bus, input and output devices are connected with address bus, input and output devices are connected with data bus. So all components inside the computer systems can transfer instruction, data, and addresses with the help of buses, and all components are linked together with the help of these set of wires. So students, remember that when we will combine data bus, address bus, and control bus, the combination of these three buses are called a system bus. So if we talk about the system bus, so basically your system bus is a combination of data bus, address bus, and control bus. It is a complete system. It is a complete system which is used to control the transportation inside your computer system. So here, the first type of the bus, data bus. Data bus provides a path for moving data between system modules. May consist of from 32 to hundreds of separate lines. Number of lines refer to bus width and determines how many bits can be transferred at a time. The width of the data bus is a key factor in determining overall performance. Why? Because remember that the number of bits a bus can transfer data in the form of bits, and the bus width means that how many bits can be transferred at one time, and that is called the width of bus. So it can transfer 16 bits, it can transfer 16 bits, 32 bits, like this. So 32 bits bus is more faster than 16 bits bus. So it's called the bus width. The amount of data a bus can carry at one time is called bus width. So basically, the data bus is a bidirectional bus that is used to transfer your data from one component to another component. The lines on the data bus enable data to be transferred between the processor and the main memory, and the main memory to the processor. It is a bidirectional bus. Bidirectional bus means that it can transfer data two-way. The width of the data bus is measured by the number of lines on the bus. Each line can carry 1 bit. A 32-bit data bus can transfer 32 bits at a time. The width of the data bus is important when determining how well a system performs. So if the 32 bits data bus we have, it means it can transfer 32 bits at one time. So the data bus is a bidirectional bus over which data can be sent from the microprocessor to the main memory and to the main memory to the back to the microprocessor. So when data sent from the microprocessor to the memory, this is called write operation, and from the memory to the microprocessor is called read operation. So it is called data bus. The information carries on this will not always be data. It will often be instruction codes fetched by the microprocessor. So data bus width is from 32 bits to 64 bits. Nowadays we have 32 bits plus 64 bits plus. If you have more bits, it means that it can transfer more data at one time. So the number of bits depends and increase the speed of the bus, the amount of data it can carry at one time. Okay, so it is called the width of your bus. So remember that the data bus is a bidirectional, which is between the CPU and the main memory, and every time it can transfer your data from CPU to main memory and main memory to CPU, and it can follow the read operation and write operation. Then the next type of the bus is address bus. So address bus is used by the CPU to select a memory word for a read or write operation. It is unidirectional bus because information follows in only one direction. Address bus width is from 16 to 32 bits. It is sometimes called memory bus. It transfers the memory addresses to the processor in which CPU wants to access. When the processor wants to read or write a memory location, that location is specified in the memory bus. Memory bus is responsible to, address bus is responsible to transfer the addresses of your memory. So it is used to transfer your addresses. CPU send the address on the address bus and memory address send on the address bus, and this bus directly access the memory location, the specific memory location, and the memory address. It consists of all the signals necessary to define any of the possible memory addresses location within the computer or for modular memories, and of the possible memory address location within a module. It's defined as a label, symbol, or other set of character used to design a location or register where information is stored. So then we have a control bus. Control bus is a bidirectional bus and typically consisting of more than 16 wires used to transport control signals between the three components of the three-box model. The control bus is used to carry important information such as messages to say when a device has finished a job or when a device has just been plugged in. A simple example would be when you plug in your USB key and after a few moments a screen pops up asking you what you want to do with it. So control bus basically is a group of bus and the wires that send timing and control signals to all the parts of computer needed to carry out the instruction. Some of the control lines are output from the microprocessor and other are the input to the microprocessor from IO devices. So control bus width is the range of 8 to 16 bits. So basically the control bus is provide the synchronization and providing the control signal which is used to control all the activities and provide the synchronization between the address bus and data bus. The control bus signals are sent out and received on the control bus. It is made up for discrete wires, each with a specific function. Read and write signals are initiated to fetch execute instruction in the memory. Clock lines carries a series of clock pulses at a constant rate to keep the CPU in step. Clock rate measures megahertz or gigahertz. Reset halts the execution of the stored program, internal registers are cleared, and the machine reboots. Interrupts are signals usually from I/O devices that halt program execution temporarily. The CPU may ignore them like printer out of paper. Non-maskable interrupts cannot be ignored like power failure. So the control bus basically is used and transfer the control signals, read, write, clock, reset, interrupt, and NMI signals. So these signals can be sent with the help of the control bus. Another function of the control bus is to provide the synchronization of the data bus and address bus. System bus. As we discussed in the earlier slides, that the combination of data bus, address bus, and the control bus is called a system bus. It's a complete system, complete transportation system inside the CPU. It is a set of wires that interconnects all the components, subsystems of a computer. Source component sources out data onto the bus. A destination component inputs data from the bus. May have a hierarchy of buses, address data and control buses to access memory and I/O controller. Second set of buses from I/O controller to attach device peripherals. Peripheral components interconnect. PCI bus is an example of a very common local bus. So system bus is a combination of basically the address, data, and control bus, and it is a complete system which is used to control all the activities inside the system. Computer system. Here we have a block diagram of a computer system and the buses, how all devices are connected. So here we can check the control bus, which is represented by the purple color, and then you can check the address bus, which is represented by the gray color, and then we have a data bus, which is represented by the green color. So you can check all components are attached with the help of all buses. So these complete system is called a system bus, and all components are attached with each other with the help of this transportation system and these set of wires which are called computer buses. So a bus is an electrical path inside the computer system over which data information is transferred from one part to another. It connects the CPU and all other components and the main memory with the help of these set of parallel wires. Okay, and we can classify buses into address bus, data bus, and control bus. So basically these are the set of wires which is used to connect all the component inside your computer system. Okay, this is the very important component. All components are placed on a motherboard, and on the motherboard we have the pathway, we have circuitry board, and the set of the wires are used to connect all the components for transferring of data, instruction, and addresses. So these three buses are responsible to transfer your data, address, and instructions, and system bus is a combination of all these three buses. So dear students, thank you so much. In the next lecture, we will continue this chapter, inshallah.